As the last talk began, I couldn't help but think of the disambiguation question that we saw in an earlier session between Poland and Poland. How do you solve mismatches? I don't know, where did he go? Oh, there you are. Sorry, I didn't see where you were.
It's an excellent question, and we don't have an answer. We don't. This is an exercise for us, which I've had to go through very quickly. We assume that the results carry certain amount of inaccuracies, many less than you get in Google Translate, by the way. Because we are based on the translation of the specific sense of the word. What exactly, I don't know yet. This is a brand new project for us. It's things that we are learning. And this is a specific way of developing things. I prepared the last slide, which I didn't show because of lack of time, was in order to show you a different sort of multilingual dictionary where you are connecting things which are carefully controlled in that way. But in this kind of, it's a way of, it's a kind of intellectual exercise in order to see how can you go and reuse the data again and again and go into new directions and then come back and actually have a new perspective on what you already have.
More question?
So, of course, I know projects I'm also participating in LIDER, Felix Sasaki. I wanted to ask a question to Sue, Philip, and to some extent also to Faye, although you're moderating. LIDER also has the mission to see what role could linguistic linked data play in content analytics and potentially big data content analytics tasks. And I wanted to think, also since I know that we started some discussions on that, what your thoughts are on from the best practices created in LIDER, from the resources created in LIDER, or from the applications we are thinking of in LIDER, or also from the road mapping exercises we start in LIDER, and potential research ideas. Do you see something where is with a big data processing as application area, where how would you envision the role of linguistic linked data in that context? And I know it's a quite high-level question, but maybe you have some ideas already how to answer.
I think we have seen very good examples of the potential use of these technologies in this conference. So, for example, this morning Roberto and Rodolfo presented a very nice use case, which is about integrating very different data sets, and they showed how the linking or integration of different terminologies can sort of aid in integrating different data sets. We had also a talk yesterday by the publishing department of the European Commission. I'm not sure if the person is still here, but he also said that one of the main problems they have is, for example, in integrating all the metadata that is available to provide like a uniform search and access experience. So I think these are good examples where having linked terminologies or linked data sets can help to integrate data sets that otherwise would remain in isolation and not queryable across data sets and resources. So that would be my answer to.
So an additional scenario could be in the medical domain. So if we have some drugs annotated with some terminologies in a particular language, it requires some natural language processing analysis in order to get the terminology and the vocabulary. Just because the drug is the same and it is explained in different languages, it would facilitate, let's say, in a cross-lingual scenario, the annotation of drugs. So this is a simple example that could be reused in other vertical domains.
I want to add some words. Our group is in Berlin is about text analytics. And we have two very big big data projects. In this project, we are trying to apply information extraction technologies to big data to extract structured data, relevant information from unstructured data. And in the cooperation with Roberto, you are the hero today. And last year we won the Google Focus Research Award. In this award, we try to link the linguistic knowledge with word knowledge, with knowledge graph. And in the last talks, we talk about link the linguistic data at the terminology, word senses level. And in the Lucky project, and also in the big data project, it's important to go one level further, at the relation level. Relations between concepts like drug, protein, or drug disease, this, we need more linguistic analytics. And I think a leader and also the projects at the FKI and the Lucky project, we can really work together. And in the Lucky project, in the Google, this award project, we provide an open source called SARgraph, semantically associated linguistic knowledge. We linked linguistic patterns to the knowledge graph relations. And I think linked linguistic data and knowledge graph, this combined together will really help the big data analytic approaches. Okay, more questions? I have one question. And Ilan, and I know since we have also our spin-off company, Yokoi, we spend a lot of work on creating high-quality dictionaries. If you want to let the let tourists use dictionary, multilingual, you need a lot of work. Do you plan also to, I don't know, perhaps you have done already, to integrate the BabelNet into your key dictionaries? Or compare with your...
It's a very complex question, actually. Roberto was giving a talk at an ELEX conference in Tallinn when I was a little critical of the BabelNet because I think it's an amazing technique to get there. But what about the results? Coming back to your question, how can we assure the quality? And I think the next step is really going into what we'd call the specialized domains with a terminology where it's more one-to-one. Whereas usually the problem with the language is that 1 and 1 are hardly never 2, like you are used to in your software where it's almost always 2. So how can we reconcile these things? And I think that what we saw about the Babelfy, the things of concentrating on terminology first, etc., it's definitely making it more easier. Now with our move to RDF and linked data, we've just had a first experiment at the University of Leipzig of transforming the data to RDF, and we're having another one by Jorge at the Polytechnic in Madrid. I hope that we will be able to connect also to BabelNet and to the line, indeed.
Thank you. Do you have more questions? And we can close this session.
Okay.
Yeah.